G'day fellas, welcome to a casted game between Casva, who spawns in the north of the map, playing as the Abbasids, and his opponent. You know him, you love him, I love him. It's Give You Anxiety, and he's playing as the French. In this game, we have got the King of the Hill. And King of the Hill is probably one of those maps that is a little bit more fun than others because it is all about map control. Take a look in the center of the map, just how much gold we've got here. In addition to how much elevation we've got here. We've got a lot of elevation. 2 gold mines down to the south, 2 in the middle, 1 more up here to the north. Over on this side as well, more gold mines. I think that's 2 gold mines over there. 2 gold veins, like giant ones as well. Actually, that's a small one, that's a big one. Like, there is so much gold in the middle. You can see how important it is to fight over this. So, one of the things that you're going to see these players doing... actually, GUA's actually got a pretty decent spawn right here with his stone outcropping spawning a lot closer. Now that I look at it, I don't even think Casva's got a large stone outcropping, so a bit of a difficult spot for him. But nonetheless, we'll take a look over at Casva, and we'll look at his build order, because Casva is one of those players. He is... oh, wrong button, there we go. Casva is an Age of Empires 2 pro player. He is an incredibly talented guy. So I don't think he played in the Wallalol, but I think he was in the qualifications for the Wallalol. So I'm talking like top 20 kind of player. That's how good Casva is. So you got to watch out for this guy. He's an absolute beast. So we're going to ride along with him. We're going to see how he plays now. In the early game, you can see that with the deli, you start off with 200 wood, and he's used all of his wood so far on just making these starting buildings. So he hasn't gone for any lumber camp. Now, if he's going to want to get a lumber camp down, he's going to need to do a long distance chop of 50 wood. That's a lot. That is a lot of walking time. It's a lot of, you know, everything time. So something very important to note with that regard. But the consequence of this is that he gets a very early age up time in. So there's no straggler trees around his town center, so it's a little bit more dangerous to do this. But the standard age up time that you can get here is a 215. I don't know exactly why he hasn't hit that. I think maybe his berries are a little bit farther away. Oh, it's because he's got he doesn't have his villages on separate bushes. So you see how there's 8 villages on this bush and then only 1, and now a second one out here. You should be splitting them 4 and 4 so that they bump less. I think he actually just did that. No, he's going over to wood. Okay, so going to be going up with the economic wing here. So we'll take a look at how Casva plays this one out. And I'm curious to see. GUA probably going to be going up at the same time. We can see his resources are very low. We'll just do a quick check. GUA indeed going up. Going to be going up the School of Cavalry. So no real surprises there. Obviously playing the French. And check out how much gold is in the middle of the map right there, my lord. But that is not much food left on that anymore. All right. So, going to continue searching around the map. Picked up a couple of sheep while he was out there for his hard trouble, but hasn't really found too much, if I'm honest with you guys. 4 sheep is really not much on a map like this. But I guess it can vary depending on spawns. But I did actually just hear a villager who finished producing a building. It must have been this lumber camp. I love that sound that the villagers make. It's but nonetheless, so it looks like Casva's going to be going, so you see he's got 2 villagers over here on gold at the moment, so probably going to be saving up for his fresh foodstuffs, and then once he's got 125 gold, most likely will leave that vicinity. He will vacate that vicinity. Now it is important to note he's playing against the French. French is a civilization that has a lot of agency. So when we talk about agency, that is the ability to control the tempo of the game. That is the ability to exert aggression. That is what agency is. And French, as a civilization, are a 9 out of 10, in my opinion, for agency. You have to be very, very careful with the French. And GUA now aging up at 405, and you can expect that within 60 seconds, there's going to be a knight, a royal knight, the unique royal knight in his base. So now Casva needs to react. How does he react to that? Does he drop down a barracks? He indeed drops down a barracks because he knows that there's going to be knights on the way. If that was a delayed age up, okay, if he didn't... oh my god, GUA's got a giant gold vein in his base. Wow. Compare that, like, this is kind of insane when you think about map balance, just how good GUA's spawn is compared to his opponent. GUA, in addition to having, like, 1 gold mine, 2 gold mines, and so keep in mind, Casva literally has 1 gold mine. That's it. And then, like, this is his second one, so that's not fair. And then he's got a freaking gold, like a giant gold vein right next to the large gold vein is closer to his town center than the small gold vein. That's why he's mining it. It's ludicrous. He literally has an extra 12,000 gold at his town center. He's like, yeah, I'm fine. Don't worry. I'm cool. But anyway, we can talk about map spawns all day because it is evidently, you know, it's quite clear that not all maps spawn fairly. And this is definitely one of those cases, in addition to having stone very close to his town center as well. But nonetheless, we do see that age up has come through now. Economic wing has come through. Scout on the back line going to be popping through and spotting that GUA does actually have an archery range already out. So going to be very cognizant of the fact that he will need an archery range or a stable to deal with that himself. We see the scores are still quite close, as you would expect in the early game. But one of the things to note with this map is that forests appear to be a lot smaller than on standard maps. So have a look at GUA's base, okay? This is his only forest that he's got access to. He's got another one back here, but I don't know if I'd really call that a forest. It's more of like a small outcropping of trees. Knight going to be coming in now onto the berries. Gets that charge off. First attack going on. Second hit. Managing to survive with 2 HP. Does actually lose that villager. Going to be going down. Royal Knight going to be managing to make its way out of there, but Golden Age Tier 1 has now been activated. So for anybody unfamiliar with the Golden Age system, the way it works for the Abbasid dynasty is they get a bonus to their economy, to their research speed, to their unit production speed, based on how many units they have connected to their network. And 10 is the first Golden Age level. You can see it right down here. You can pause the video if you're watching this on YouTube. Bit of a raid coming in over on the backside, but no gold being collected whatsoever by Casper, as we mentioned. He picks up that fresh foodstuffs economic bonus, and then he just moves right on, gets food and wood. Going to be catching this knight back here down towards the north of the base. But when it comes to expansion points, these players are going to need a second source of wood very soon. This is their first source, but the second source, you take a look at GUA's base. He's got this one back here, which sure, it's fine. But then where does he go? Like, is this his next decision? Is this his next expansion point? Like, where do you go from here? You have to move out towards those edges of the map. Going to be picking up, it looks like just a couple hits over on that knight, but no villagers really going down. A little bit of damage getting put out, and GUA looking like he's really pushing forward and wants to try and put up a bit of a fight here. When it comes to Casper, he's got a nice expansion point out over here, a very nice expansion point out over here, a sheep that's trapped inside his forest. That wolf now getting out in on the action as well. Now Casper in a bit of trouble as GUA moves into his base, looking to potentially pick off some villagers. Let's see how he goes. 2 knights coming in. Going to be meeting up with those spears, and the spears hitting him in the face and saying, get back out of here. Villagers now going to get focused down by GUA. One villager potentially going to be going down. First villager going to be going down. Second villager going to get picked up. It was left behind by Casper. His spears run out and do their best to sort of Superman spank. I was going to say Superman punch, Superman spike the enemy knights, but still managing to push out. And GUA looking like he's in a pretty decent spot, but Casper is repelling him quite well at this point. And if I'm Casper, I'm happy with where I am. The primary thing I'm thinking about as Casper is expansion now at this point. I've managed to survive in the early game. I've got fresh foodstuffs. Now, how do I get an expansion out without dying? That is the question that I need to answer. So where am I going to expand to, and how am I going to do that without dying? I've got Royal Knights in my base, so I need to play it a bit safe, but Casper now pushing out of his base, having a bit of a difficult time because now his archers are going to be trying to trade out with enemy archers, but at the same time, he needs to make sure he doesn't lose his spears, but he's done that quite successfully. This is the expansion time. Right now, I want to see Casper. Oh my god, look at what he's got to deal with right now. He just needs a couple spears back here. I need to see Casper right now sending 6 villagers out over to this stone outcropping, all the rest of the villagers out here, and then 7 villagers down towards this hunt. This is where your town center is going to go. At the same time, you're going to put a wall, or at least try and put a wall up over on this side. That way you can at least try and control the front. It's going to be difficult for you, but you're going to have a lot of raids potentially coming in. We'll look to see what he goes for and whether he looks to get that expansion out. But it's important that he looks to get that expansion sooner rather than later, because he does have fresh foodstuffs, and that's why it's so important, because you can really be taking advantage of that. How do you scale an ability that's linear? Well, you add more functionality to it through more town centers, and that's exactly what he needs to do, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. We'll take a look over at GUA's perspective. We'll see how he's doing. He's got a scout that's sitting out, an expansion that's coming down towards the south, double mill going up for him. Scout now going to be forced back to its base, and GUA still looking very happy, very healthy, going to be throwing down 2 more stables, and there's really no surprise there. This is the GUA classic that we expect, the 1 base GUA, the 4 military production facility GUA. It's exactly what you would expect, but now we see what looks to be a new lumber camp going to be coming down right here, and it is indeed a lumber camp. But it's always so dangerous going for this town center timing that I was talking about. If you do dare drop that town center against Give You Anxiety, you're going to be in for a difficult time because this is the timing push that he goes for. And here you can see now going for a five military production facility timing push here for GUA on that one base. So you've got to be very careful. He is going to potentially be running out of resources very shortly. You can see that he does have an expansion point down here to the south, but once again, it's one of those ones that are threatened. So I'm curious to see exactly how Casva is going to play it. We'll take a look back at his perspective. Still managing to repel all of these raids. Another raid up towards the north. We see exactly why these knights are so strong in the second age. They can outrun the spears, and they do so much damn damage to these villagers. Those villagers do manage to get inside, but probably best moved out towards another expansion point at this time. Maybe even a wall out here would be really nice for Casva. So it's hard to know exactly where you want a wall, but ideally somewhere like right here, and then get a wall just across here. And you're walling out your berries, but there's no reason why you can't gate it up later. And that's just going to prevent any potential threats coming through from these knights, because they are very oppressive when they do come through. You just see how many idols Casva had. It was close to about 20 villages that were going idle as a consequence of those. So really important to think about that. Casva now going to be pushing out across the map and looking pretty decent as he does it. Got an outpost that's going to be coming up for Give You Anxiety here. Looks like there's 8 villagers on it. They managed to get it up in time. 5 villagers getting inside. Gonna be forcing Casva back, and he can push into here. He's got a lot of units, but it's going to be at a significant loss. You can see just how many units GUA's got here, and this outpost is definitely going to back them the hell up. So really important that he remains cognizant of that and continuing to get harassed by this Royal Knight, and this is part of the reason why. And you watch, this Royal Knight's just going to come in, find the low HP villager, or just make it its own low HP villager. It's going to be able to do really well, and just once again preventing villagers from gathering, forcing APM to come out here, growing that idle time. Needs to be so careful with that Royal Knight. Doesn't want to turn that around. 2 spears, doing their best to try and chase it down, and it's part of the reason why you don't even bother chasing Royal Knights. Put these guys on hold, on stand ground, and then put them where your villagers are, because you look at this, boom, right there. He gets a free villager and he runs away. It's just that kind of thing that is so frustrating to deal with, these Royal Knights in the second age, because horsemen can do it, but they can do it nowhere near as effectively as the French Royal Knights can do it. This is really what they excel with, just coming in, those little hit and runs, and you know, he still manages to get out. And you know, the crazy part is he is then going to go away and he's going to heal that up. So that was a 12 HP Royal Knight that almost died, but now it's going to go away. In 3 minutes, it's going to become a full HP Royal Knight. It's going to take part in the next battle that happens. And now GUA looking like he's in a pretty decent spot. Casva trading out Archer v Archer as he should. Spears connecting with the cavalry and doing the right thing. He's focused down a lot of these archers. There's really not enough of them now. And as a result, he's not going to be able to one-shot the spears. And as a consequence, they're going to be able to force these Royal Knights back out. You see just how difficult they're trying to get in there. I'm going to move the camera around just so we get a bit of a better angle. That's looking a little bit better, I feel. More Royal Knights coming in, and you can see that GUA is just running everything in him, but managing to actually overwhelm with just the significant numbers that he's got right here. And Casva in a bit of a difficult spot now, because all of his military has died. He's got more reinforcements that are coming up, but you've got the defender's advantage that GUA had, and now he's in a bit of a difficult spot because his reinforcements... Well, there are no reinforcements, at least not at the moment. There's plenty more military production buildings that have been made, but Casva's got quite a way to come. And take a look at that. What is that? It looks like a meteorite has hit in here. It's gone like that into the side of the wall, but now we get a bit of a raid up here to the north. As we mentioned, look, this Royal Knight has gone away, healed up to about half HP, and now it's just come back in. That same Royal Knight that we were talking about before, the one that was over here. And this is just what's so oppressive, but it looks like GUA might not be paying attention. This Royal Knight's finally going to go down. And there she goes. No more issue. The problem has been solved. But still, I really want to see a wall up around here. I'd love to see a wall just across here. Casva, if you could get on that, that would be great. But I digress. We're in a bit of a lull right now. Let's do a quick stock take. How are we doing? 42 villages for Casva right now. We'll go check out GUA's side. 53 villages, and that is the difference. That's that French bonus that we're talking about. The French bonus where they get that faster town center production time. You can see they only take 17 seconds to train villagers. Compare that to the 20 seconds that your opponent is training. And this is where you understand that the bonus that the Abbasids get is not an economic bonus. It's actually a military bonus in the early game. I'm talking about fresh foodstuffs, the one that reduces the villager cost. It allows you to support more military in the early game. It doesn't increase your villager production speed. It's not an economic bonus. It's a military one. you can scale it up to be an economic bonus. And now finally we've got that wall coming down. Casper doing a great job walling exactly where he needed to. It looks like he does indeed have that second wall up, so great little wall here. Actually walling it a bit better than I thought I would. I would have walled it across like that, but doing a very decent job. More villagers going to be going down here. GUA just doing his best just to pick off a couple. You see a few bodies laying down there on the ground. And now a bit of a difficult position for Casper because not only is he down villages, he is down town centers. GUA has expanded. Drop down that second town center to the south. You see just how many military production buildings he's made. And oh my lord, I totally failed to realize exactly what he's got going on right here. For anybody unfamiliar with what GUA's base looks like, you're about to find out when he reaches the third age. You see this right here? This is called the French Diamond. Now, I just came up with that right then. So in 3 years' time, when... What is going on here? Look at this. It's getting pushed. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. We have somewhere to get. Please move out of the way. Please. Okay. So this is what I call the French Diamond. Okay. So you can fit a castle that goes in the... So I wish I could pause the game and just talk about this because this is so important for you guys to understand. The French have got one of the craziest bonuses in the game. And it's like, on top of everything else, they've got this bonus. This is their influence bonus. Their castles reduce the cost of stable units and archery units by 20% if those buildings are within an influence radius. And in that influence radius, you can fit 12 military production buildings. And you have to build them like this. 4 by 4 and then by 4 by 4. So you've got 12 in total. That is how you do it. And then there's a further upgrade that reduces it by 30%. So you can, or by 10%, I should say. So it goes to a total of 30%. Longbows now going to be pushing down here, give you anxiety, looking to capitalize on this. We see just how many spears are out here. Another wolf is getting in on the action as well, just forcing that annoying sound that you love to hear. Getting taken out, unfortunately. GUA putting in between a rock and a hard place here. Going to be able to trade very effectively here. We see 16 archers, nowhere near enough for his opponent. Getting a nice couple hits on him with the lances. You see the lances moving away. Do we see any twirls coming out from these guys? I love it when they do that little twirl that they do. Do we spot it? No twirls coming through just yet. Going to be getting onto the back line. GUA, beautiful micro right here. And Casper falling asleep at the keyboard once again. He's got to be careful because now those spears are fighting up against the knights. And this is going to get completely shut down. Give you anxiety is at a significant lead at this point. Absolutely huge lead right now. He has the military lead. He has the economic lead. He has the infrastructure lead. And he has, I'll be honest with you guys, he kind of has the civ lead as well. Sounds like a wolf is attacking someone up in this corner. I'm not sure exactly where that is. Is it under here? No, I don't see it. But anyway, GUA now going to continue raiding up towards the north. As quick stock takes tells us 73 villages for GUA. Casper sitting on 47. Significant difference. 24 villager difference now. And Casper still yet to get that second town center up. We take a look and see that there's absolutely nothing that he can do at this point. It almost looks like, I would say, a certain GG, but we see that Casper's got a little plan in the works right here. Casper looking to potentially macro for that next age. So he's dropping down more military production buildings at this point. He is. Let's take a look and see how many he's got. 4 archery ranges, 3 barracks at this point. So Casper looking pretty decent when it comes to his military production and going to be aging up any second now. When he gets to the third age, he's going to be able to access the camel rider. Not the camel archer, the camel rider is going to be available from his stable, but he doesn't have any stables out just yet, so he's going to need to make more of those bad boys. Let's see what he clicks up with. I'm hoping it's the military wing. Let's see what he goes with. It is indeed the military wing. That is the correct choice, Casper. I think there is still a chance for you in this game, despite being less than 500 points behind. So you're not actually that far behind, I will be honest. My only concern is that you are very far behind on the military, but we'll have to see how that plays out. GUA, on the other hand, already up to the next age, going up with a guild house, it looks like. No, the Royal Institute going to be going up with. Now, let's talk a little bit about this landmark and why this is such a powerful landmark for the French. A really, really cool landmark. This landmark houses your unique technologies and it reduces the cost of them. So, the French have got access to a lot of incredible unique technologies. Let's take a look at what GUA is researching so far. The first thing that he's going to be researching is cantled saddles. Oh, and by the way, did I mention, if the technology is available in the Imperial Age and it's a unique technology, that's fine. You can research it. It bypasses the age restrictions on your technologies. Yes. You heard that correctly. Yes. So, anything that's available in the Imperial Age, you'll get access to it here in the Castle Age. So this is like part of the reason why it's so good. So Cantled Saddles, it's going to be increasing rather, the damage after a Royal Knight charges. So when a Royal Knight charges, this is what makes it unique. Let's see if we can find a Royal Knight. Here we go. There's the Royal Knight, and there we go. Now the diamond coming in. Remember, I spoke a little bit early about this influence bonus. Archery ranges and stables within influence have unit costs decreased by 25%? Wait, it used to be 20%. Now it's 25%? Was there a patch and I missed it? That is so broken. And then this increases it a further 10%, up to 35%. Ay. That is crazy. Anyway, the influence radius on it, you can, like most people will pack them in around here, but if you actually think out your base building like GUA has, you can fit a whole lot more buildings in here. So he'll go for like more buildings up this side. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, so another 6, I think. Let's just do the math quickly. Another 5 he'll be able to fit. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. He'll have to delete this house, which he will. So we were talking about the Royal Knight. So after the Royal Knight charges, it has a period where it does extra damage for 3 seconds. Now, that works out to be 1 melee attack. That's what it works out to be. So 1 melee attack. And that's 3 damage that it does initially. But you can get a buff that improves that up to 13 damage. So that's what GUA got there. In addition to that, he's got some other incredible buffs in here, or researchers. So Gambeson's is in here, which is going to increase Arbilatria melee armor by +5. Yeah, +5. And look how cheap it is. Unique to the French, of course. And then, on top of that, enlistment incentives is in here as well. So you can get it for a reduced cost. You can see that it's over here costing the full amount, but here it's reduced. And then, of course, you've got crossbow stirrups, which reduces the reload time of Arbilatria by 25%. And of course, that's an Imperial Age technology. So if you take a look in the archery range, it is requirements, Age 4, the Imperial Age. But if you go and look over here, it is not enough resources. It is available to research for you. But the Pistolet à Resistance. The Pistolet à Resistance. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I think that's Italian. I don't think that's French. But anyway, is that the French have a unique cavalry, a unique Imperial cavalry upgrade. So, you know that everybody has access to the university, right? And in that university, there's a whole bunch of upgrades. So, it upgrades the cavalry HP by 30%. Well, the French, they don't have access to that. They have a unique technology, which is 35%. And as it's unique, that makes it available in the Royal Institute and available in the 3rd Age, ladies and gentlemen. It is incredibly strong. GUA now in a bit of a difficult spot. Crossbows. Does he have crossbows yet? No crossbows out just yet. Veteran archers doing their best to push back. GUA in a bit of a difficult spot. GUA, wake up. You cannot be fighting those spears with your lancers. Not like this. GUA actually looking like he may have overinvested right here. A couple of mangonels coming up, but they are a little bit too late. Spears now looking to connect on top of those knights and doing their best to chase them away. Archers on the top of the hill, going to be able to do all right. 28 archers. Compare that to the archers of his opponent. We'll take a quick look. Down to 20. GUA actually looking to hold right now at this point. Spears now moving in on top of these archers. Going to be able to clean them up from behind. And GUA really demonstrating his micro prowess at this point. He's going to have the mangonel coming out, turning around, going to be firing off a shot. There it goes. Big shot, getting onto the back line, taking down a whole bunch of spears at that point. And now we see just how many archers remain, and they're going to be able to very easily clean up these hardened spearmen, which remain. And GUA manages to hold. We see the scores. GUA up 2k score now, despite almost losing his life right there. And I tell you what, it is a difficult spot right now for Casper to be able to come back here. We take a look at how Casper's doing, and oh my lord, Casper calls the good game right there. He says, oh, no, it's over. Ladies and gentlemen, Give You Anxiety coming out with the victory right there. And wasn't it an impressive game from him? If you're watching this on YouTube, I hope that you've enjoyed this cast, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.